chord progressions. We're in Scale Book 2, Section 7. Even though this section is at the end of the book, don't wait to the end of the book to bring in these chord patterns. If a student's learning a set of keys, for instance, C, G, D, and A, you could take it right from those scales and arpeggios and jump to Section 7, work through these chord progressions in C, G, D, and A. This pop chord etude gives us our primary chords, 1, 4, and 5, but it adds another honorary primary chord. I like to nominate the 6th chord as a primary chord because it's so powerfully important in today's pop music. In fact, I'd like to highlight, if you would, measure 9. The 4 measures there gives us a chord progression of 1, 6, 4, 5. And you may recognize that as the Beach Party chord progression from Piano Adventures Level 2 beat. And then measure 13 for those next 4 measures is 1, 5, 6, 4, much like the pocketbook canon, but repeating 1, 5, 6, 4 over and over picks up the chord progression that's so popular in today's rap music and pop music. So we have 1, 4, 5, 1. By bringing the left hand a little lower, it helps us find the 6th chord. And then that takes us through the 1, 6, 4, 5 chord progression, which we might loop over and over, and then the 1, 5, 6, 4, which again can loop. To help us loop these 4-bar chord progressions, take a look at challenge number 36 on the next page. This gives us the 2-hand accompaniment, which can be applied to those 4-bar patterns. So it's a lot easier for the student to do the repetitions with this nice, comfortable 2-hand accompaniment and take it again through the many keys. Power chord etude, this is in minor. So as a student's learning some of the minor keys, you can jump right to power chord etude. Give a listen and see if you recognize this pattern. That's, of course, our 1, 7, 6, and 5, just as we heard in the green sleeves and in the power chords of our mini etudes in minor. Turning to page 54, let's listen to the classic cadence. This is our standard 1, 4, and 5, but we're going to do something different. On our way to 5, what did we get to? We have the 1 chord with 5 in the bass. And that's a powerful point. In piano concerto, we stop there on that 1 chord with 5 in the bass, and then we work through our cadenza, and then we come back in. So it's a bit of a rest point, but yet where does it want to go? It wants to continue to 5, 7, and 1. Challenge 37 gives that same classic cadence, a 2-hand accompaniment for transposition. And then challenge 38, another very important setting, is to take a bass line that wants to move to step 5. So we go up from step 3, 4, 5, and 1. So chords over it. Let's put the 1 chord over step 3. So notice I have an inversion again. I've got my 1 chord, but the 3rd in the bass, C/E, if you will, in this key. Then to the 4 chord, and 1, and back down. And that's really popular in classical settings and in certain pop settings. Okay, now this takes us to Happy Birthday. Let's listen and hear the harmony. 1, 5, 7, 5, 7, 1. 3rd in the bass to the 4, and then 5. And then we'll transpose 1 to 5, 7, and 5, 7 back to 1. Walking up 3 to the 4 chord, and 5. So finally, our students won't be caught at a party unable to play Happy Birthday. And do we need the melody? No, people want to sing, so all we need is this harmony, 2-hand accompaniment over the harmony. And our students can play it in any key. If you have a student who's adventurous, we can bring in the melody. But if we do, let's analyze that melody. Notice where are we starting? We're not on the tonic. We're not on step 1 of the scale. We're starting on step 5. So instead of being between step 1 and 1, if you will, we're starting here on step 5 underneath our tonic. 5 to the leading tone. And here we are on step 1. Now 5 underneath and 5 above. And then we're going to stretch the step 4 by a half step, 3, 2, 1. And each of those pitches has a meaning, as we've learned throughout the book. And each of the chords has meaning. So this section on chords allows us to take our scale, stack notes within the scale. We're only using scale tones. And then we can find meaningful patterns of those chords that we can repeat through many, many different pieces. So we have actually a meaningful matrix of chords, you might say, a matrix of sound that helps us identify these chords and sounds, whether it be classical music or popular music.